And we are on. Hello, everybody. So, this is Jody from The Seven Effect. And today I've got a really special live show for you. I've actually got a world renowned social entrepreneur and the author of The Belief Principle, Steven Aitchison, here to talk about his new book and give you some really big insights into beliefs and what can be stopping you, as well as some really practical strategies around the types of beliefs that you want to hold if you want to have success in life, in business, or in relationships, any other area that you can imagine. So, Stephen, we've got lots of eyeballs on us already. I'm going to bring you in. Ta-da! Here is the guy.
Thank you very much for having me on, Jodie. Really looking forward to this. Can't wait for this to happen. So, can't wait.
Fantastic to have you here. We've already got Sue, one of our business builders from our community, jumping in and saying hello as well. Hey, Sue, great to have you here. So,
Excellent.
Stephen, the first question that I love to ask people just so we can get a sense of who you are, is before we dig into your book, which I'm super excited about, do you mind telling us a bit about where you've come from, where you are now, and what the future for Steven Aitchison is in a brief couple of minutes?
In a brief couple of minutes, okay. In the past, I'm just going to very quickly. I was an alcohol and drug counsellor
Aha.
for about 6 or 7 years. That's kind of where I started. Before that, I went to university, got my psychology degree. I was really interested in psychology and the
Yep.
mind, and I just loved it. I just loved everything about the mind, especially about beliefs. That's where I got to learn about beliefs. When I was younger, I had to change my own beliefs in order to get to where I am today. So then I became drug and alcohol counsellor. But my huge passion was online. It was the internet, and I wanted to do a business
Oh,
online.
yep.
So I had a kind of brief kind of soiree with kind of an internet business, a book business. I was a book dealer,
Really?
um,
Wow. Other
not a
people's
drug dealer, a
books.
book dealer.
Yeah.
So I was a book dealer for a while. That kind of went under when Amazon kind of really
Yep.
got big. So I started again. And in 2012, I gave up my full-time job,
Yep.
and I had a kind of guided meditations website that really kind of took off
Wow.
and kind of made it big.
Yep.
And I had a blog since 2006, the longest running personal development blog in the world, I think, one of the longest,
Really?
and it's still going just now.
Stephen, that's
Um,
amazing. So tell us, what's
so
the
you,
blog called?
it's
Oh,
stevenaitchison.co.uk.
just simple, straightforward, your blog? Yep.
Yeah, just simple, straightforward. Yeah, it's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. That's what it was originally
Oh,
called, but
yep.
the main name is Stephen Aitchison. So there's thousands of articles on there, and it's still
Hmm.
going just now. And then I wanted to write books. I wanted
Yeah.
to do kind of books like The Belief Principle.
Yep.
Back in 2014, I made a website. I got the cover for The Belief Principle,
Yep.
and I had planned on writing it, but I was doing kind of Facebook at the time, and
Yep.
people kept on asking me, how are you growing your Facebook page? So I
Yeah.
wrote a kind of small book, gave it to them for free,
Yep.
and then it got bigger and bigger, and I made a business from that called Your Digital Formula. So the book didn't get written, and it's only now that I've kind of wound up Your Digital Formula,
Oh,
kind of,
wow. Yep.
and concentrating on the books, and that's where I am today. So I'm going to focus on, the plan was when I was 55 years old
Yep.
to start writing books, non-fiction and fiction.
Okay.
But I'm doing it early. I'm 51, so I'm starting this year as the first year I'm going to start writing books, non-fiction and fiction,
Yep.
take it from there, and that's where the future is for the next 10 years.
So you're moving from building businesses and being in the coaching space to now becoming an author. Is this your first book, The Belief Principle, then?
This is the first real book. I tried it in 2011, but it was
Besides
just
the Facebook.
an expanded blog post, 100 Ways to Develop Your Mind.
Yep.
But it was just an expanded blog post. I wanted to see how it went. It made about £10,000 or something,
Yep.
which was quite cool at the
Yeah.
time. But it wasn't a real book. I don't class it as a real book. This is
Yep.
a real book where I've done the research, I've put in the time and effort,
Yep.
and I love it. It's
Yeah.
something I'm passionate about as well.
And I have to say, the title is alluring. It makes us want to grab it straight away. The 7 beliefs that will transform your life. Right away,
Yes.
I need to know what they are. And what we're going to do in this interview, for those of you that are tuning in, and we've got lots of people tuning in live, which is fantastic here. So, hi, Marianne. Hello, Zviko. We've got Betty Jo Smith. Hey, how are you? Irina as well. What I would love to do, Steve, is really unpack a little bit about, firstly, why beliefs matter for you, And for those of you that are watching, please do ask your questions. And then what I'll do is I'll field those towards the end. So we'll do a bit of a Q&A with Steve and I. Let your questions come rolling in as Stephen's talking. And then what I'll do is we'll go to a Q&A time and we can answer those questions. How does that sound, Stephen?
Perfect. Yep, that's perfect.
Yep. So let's talk about, and just so you know, most of our audience are business builders or people who really just want to improve their life. So we do life design and lifestyle business building.
Excellent.
Why are beliefs so important to you?
Oh, your beliefs, you are what you are today because of your beliefs.
Yep.
And you cannot grow beyond the level of your own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot expand. If you want to kind of get more money, if you want to have a perfect relationship, if you want a bigger house, better car, you want to move to a better area, if you want anything better in your life, you have to change the level of your beliefs. You have to change your belief in order to get there.
Yep.
And lots of people, if I ask the question, I've done this in seminars when I've been talking about it, if I say to you, okay, what are your personal beliefs? Not your religious beliefs or anything like that, but if I say to you, what are your personal beliefs, the beliefs you hold about yourself, you kind of go, actually, I don't know. I've never really questioned my beliefs.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know. They just say, well, I'm kind, I'm a nice, generous person, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
But I'm talking about the deep core beliefs that really drive you and drive your life.
Yep.
Nobody really knows because they don't question them. But when you
gather them over time, don't we? It's just all this unconscious stuff that we gather over time. Yeah.
But what I've realised, Jodie, as well, is you've got to ask the question, where do we get our beliefs from?
Yeah.
And our beliefs are primarily from our primary caregivers. So that could be our mum and dad or grands, whoever we kind of were brought up with. We get our beliefs from them. And kind of media, teachers, peers and stuff like that. But our beliefs are formed by the age of 7 years old.
Right.
Most of the beliefs are formed by the age of 7 years old. There's a specific reason for that. I don't want to dig too deep into it, but it's to do with brainwave patterns. But if we ask the question, where do we get our beliefs from? And we say, okay, it's from our primary caregivers, our mums and dads, brothers and sisters. You've got to ask, where do they get their beliefs from?
Yeah.
And then you ask, well, where do they get their beliefs from? And you find out some of your beliefs are hundreds of years old.
Wow.
And you go, holy shit. Some of my beliefs are hundreds of years. They've been passed down. They're not even my beliefs, but I'm carrying them with me just now. So in order to change that, you've got to first recognize where your beliefs are, then start to change them from there. So that's why I'm deeply interested in it, because nobody really knows what the beliefs are.
Yeah, and it dictates where you are in life, which is so important. So
exactly.
And I agree, I think a lot of people don't stop to go, right, what are the beliefs that are driving me? We're kind of just driving through life almost blindfolded a lot of the time.
Yeah.
What would you say is the number one thing for someone to just begin? Where do I start? If I want to really tune into what my beliefs are at a deeper level, what are the types of questions we should be asking ourselves?
The very first question is, what goal? Everybody's got goals in their life, whether it be just to be a better mother or whether to be start a business, write a book, whatever it is, everybody's got a goal in life. When you say, just take one goal and ask the question, okay, what is that goal? And you go, okay, what beliefs do I need to hold about attaining that goal?
Right.
That's it. And then you start to figure out what your beliefs are. If that's all you were doing, there's loads of other things you can do. But if you want to start slow and steady, what beliefs do I need to have to achieve this goal? And then when you kind of look at that and say, okay, I want to start a business, you just go, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the skills, I don't have the confidence, I don't have this. And you start to find out what your limiting beliefs are. And then you say, okay, I need to change that belief. And it sounds really simple, but once you dive into it, whew, that's a life changer.
Yeah, and this is the thing, beliefs, I've certainly done work on myself in that space, but if we want to change our life, we've got to start with the beliefs as the foundation.
Totally.
Do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It all starts with your beliefs. Your beliefs kind of are the foundation for your thoughts, your actions, everything you do, everything you think, everything you kind of see, even the way you view the world. You view the world through a belief filter as well. So the way you see the world is not the way I see the world. And I mean literally, I don't mean figuratively, I mean literally. So if you can change your beliefs, your belief filter changes as well. And that literally changes the way you see the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And so once we've started to question and go, right, this is my goal, I ask myself, what beliefs do I need to hold if I want to achieve that goal? Having gone through this, I am sure you've been through this. You know, you've got over 500 million followers yourself. You've done a lot of work helping other entrepreneurs build followings online. What are the most common beliefs that come up for people that might stop them or get in their way?
Do you know one of the biggest ones is, and I did a live on it. By the way, I've not got 500 million followers. I wished I did have 500
5
million.
million, not 500 million.
5 million, yeah.
I'm a queen of exaggerating, and that's
holy
the
shit,
biggest.
He's got 500 million.
That's the biggest exaggerator I've ever made. I meant 5 million, which is still a pretty epic number. I mean, come on, Stephen.
No, it's good, but yeah, I wish I had 500 million.
5 million's amazing.
The one belief, and I would have to have this belief in a big abundance if I was to get 500 million.
Yeah.
But the one belief is I am worthy.
Yeah.
Our beliefs, the way we kind of tell ourselves our beliefs and kind of really push that belief into us and drive it into our subconscious mind is the word I am. Those two words are what make your life. So you say I am, and then after that, I'm no good with computers, I'm no good at maths, I'm not a good writer, I'm not good looking, I'm fat. Whatever you say after I am is what you are. So a lot of people don't think they're worthy. But if you change it in just a simple phrase, I am worthy, that brings up a lot of emotions. When you get somebody to say that, or you ask somebody to say that, put their hand on the heart and say I am worthy, it brings up a lot of emotions because there's a cognitive dissonance there. And it's really powerful. And I did this on a live, and a lot of people started crying.
Wow.
Because I am worthy. Just say to yourself, really feel I am worthy. And they've never told themselves that. They've never been told that they're worthy. And it brings up a lot of, I can feel it just now. It brings up a lot of emotions. So that one belief alone could literally change your whole life if you install that belief. And I mean, literally install that belief like an app or something like that, a program.
And I absolutely love that for everyone here. What a powerful belief to hold. Hand on heart, I am worthy, and practice saying that. And it's like you said, a lot of people, even though for those of you that are parents, please practice saying this to your children again and again and again. Now, Bob's asking a question here, Stephen, actually, which I want to share with you now. He's got two questions, actually. Thanks, Bob, for your questions. First one he says is, how much does belief depend on what you have been surrounded with in the first 7 years of your life? So you talked about that briefly, but is there anything else that you can expand on around those first 7 years? Is there a short answer to how much of our adult beliefs depend on that? And
I can't give you an exact figure. Obviously, it's not an exact science. It's going to be different for everybody. But I would say most of your personal beliefs that you hold about yourself are formed by that age. And there's a reason for that. Your brainwave patterns, if we go alpha, theta, beta, delta, that's kind of your beta stage is what we're in just now watching this live show, where we're kind of thinking about lots of different things, not only the live show, about shopping, about picking the kids up, about kind of what's happening just now in the world, the news, kind of all that kind of fearful stuff, everything. That's you in beta stage. Alpha stage is when you're kind of more relaxed and more kind of meditative, and beta or theta stage is getting down to even deeper stages. Now, by the age of 7 years old, we're predominantly in between alpha and theta. So this is why kids pick up things like sponge. You could give them an iPad at 3 years old and they pick it up, and we can't even work the remote control for the TV.
So true.
So that's all to do with your brainwaves. That's why it's 7 years old. But after 7 years old, we change and predominantly go into kind of theta, beta kind of stages from alpha, beta. And then as we get older, we're predominantly in beta. That's why meditation is so good as well, because we lower our brainwave patterns and we can learn quicker and we feel much more calm as well. So by the age of 7 years old, your personal beliefs have kind of mostly been formed. I'm going to say 70%. But as an adult, you can change all of that by just becoming aware and questioning the beliefs you already have.
And that's the most important thing I think we all need to understand, is that even though we might have these things that are related to our childhood, we have the power as adults to make choices and change that. So can you 100%. Tell us a little bit about, does your book guide us through how we can change that and what sorts of practical tools we can use?
There's a specific formula. So I've got it in the book. There's a specific formula, but it starts with awareness. And when you become aware of a belief, you can change that belief. So there's a thing called, I'm going to have to talk about this very quickly. So cognitive dissonance. When you say, when you've believed all your life you're not worthy,
Yeah.
you've got that belief and it's a rock solid belief. You can't change it.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. Whatever happens, somebody says, oh, you're really good looking, or you're really brilliant, you're really intelligent. You don't believe it because you just don't feel you're worthy. Now, when you start to question that belief, you can look for evidence to prove the contrary of this belief. So you say, okay, I am worthy because I'm a good mother.
Yeah.
I'm really intelligent. I love to read. I'm a writer. I love all these things.
Yeah.
I'm worthy for 100 different reasons. If you find evidence, this rock solid belief begins to become molten.
Yeah.
Begins to melt. And this other new belief, I am worthy, goes over the top of it.
Yeah.
And that forms a rock solid belief. So it happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight, although very occasionally it can happen overnight. But this then becomes a new belief. And you look for evidence.
Yep.
So evidence to prove that it's a hypothesis.
Yes.
So all you're going on just now is a hypothesis to prove that. And that's what we do in science, and we're doing that here as well. Right. So look for evidence to prove that belief is true, or look for evidence to unprove that the old limiting belief is not true. Yeah. And that's the way to do it. So there's a specific formula, and it all happens over time. It doesn't happen overnight. Yep. But within 30 days, you're starting to change the process already if you're looking at one particular belief.
Brilliant. And is that
Does that make sense to the...
That makes perfect sense. And it's what I love about it is the reality is the process is quite simple, but for so many people it can feel overwhelming because of the rock solid belief that they're holding to be true. But all we need to do is just look for evidence, look for new evidence that proves the new belief, look for evidence that disproves the old belief.
Yeah.
Is this the sort of thing that we can expect to find in the belief principle then, these types of processes that you can nut out for us?
Yeah, so I've got a specific process called the deep soul feeling method.
Yeah.
And it starts off with a mantra. So I've recorded a mantra. For everybody that buys the book, they're going to get this mantra.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you what the mantra is, and you can say it yourself. So, and it's really powerful. So for each belief I've got, you add on at the end of the mantra. So it starts off with, I am the light, I am the energy, I am the love, I am the universe.
Right.
Nothing to do with religion. It's about feeling that you're part of something much bigger, and you are.
Yep.
Just most people don't realize it. And then you put on at the end of it, I am worthy.
Yeah.
Or I am responsible for everything that happens in my life. That's another important belief. You've got to accept responsibility. Yeah. At what point do you stop blaming your past and become an adult and take responsibility for what's happening in your life just now? It's all to do with your beliefs. Yep. So that's how it starts. It's a mantra. Yep. Then we've got a kind of diary, almost a journal, whereby you record the belief that you want to have. I am worthy, for example. You look for evidence, you write it down. You look, when you get new evidence, you write it down as well, and you repeat it. So there's a specific thing that you do called the deep soul feeling method. Literally 15 minutes a day. After 30 days, hopefully you can see the changes. Other people will see the changes in you as well after 30 days.
Yeah, and I can attest, I've done this sort of work that Stephen's talking about, and I can absolutely say 100% it is a life changer when we start to shift the things that are holding us back and we start to look for evidence to focus on the new things we want to create. Our entire life changes over time. So I've got another question from Bob here for you, Stephen. Do you mind? He says, do you feel that our respect, responsibility and resilience affect our beliefs? So that's from Bob Risen. Thanks, Bob, for the question.
Sorry, say that again, Julie.
Do you feel that our respect, our responsibility and our resilience affect our beliefs?
Totally. That is in and of itself a belief. Having resilience is part of your kind of beliefs. Having kind of respect for yourself. I take it as respect for yourself you're talking about, Bob. So yeah, totally that. But you can change the respect you have for yourself. You can change your resilience. You can change anything you want to, all to do with your beliefs as well. Yeah. But that is part of the whole kind of belief ecosystem as well. So that in and of itself is kind of beliefs on their own as well. So you can change them as well, So, but it does, so what you've got as well, Jodie, you've got, I've got in the book, is the tree, kind of the tree of beliefs. Yep. So you've got a core belief, that's your kind of core belief of the very foundations of the tree. Okay. Then you've got trunk beliefs. Yep. Then you've got branch beliefs. Then you've got leaf beliefs.
Right.
So
is this your model, Stephen? The core, trunk, branch and leaf, that's your model that you teach in the book?
it's nothing's mine.
Yeah,
Nothing's mine. It's
good
kind
point.
of information I've kind of learned from everywhere and just kind of put it all together.
Yeah, love
But
it.
yeah, I think I don't know if it's a new concept or not, but I'll say yes.
Yeah,
But if you have a core belief, it's going to affect your trunk beliefs, your leaf beliefs, and your branch beliefs as well. It's similar if you have a leaf belief,
yeah.
it's not going to affect your core beliefs.
Ah,
So do you know what I mean? So
love
it's
it.
really the core beliefs we're looking to get here,
Yep,
or really the trunk beliefs, because your core beliefs are like your religious beliefs.
yep,
That would be a core belief. That defines the very person you are.
yep,
So we're looking to change your kind of trunk beliefs that go down into core beliefs as well.
yep.
I am worthy is one of the big things. I am responsible for everything that happens to me is another big belief we want to make a core belief.
Yeah. Speaking of worthiness, Bob's got a bit of a controversial statement here. Do you think Hitler was worthy? Is Trump worthy? There's things like this. So, what are your beliefs around this idea of are people good, bad, or evil? I mean, again, it's like you're saying, it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it? But have you got any thoughts on
It's,
that?
it's totally a matter of perspective. I know those are very controversial kind of figures as
Yeah,
well. Hitler believed what he was doing was right.
yeah,
When you believe something, it's true.
yep.
In
That's
your
right.
world, as I said, I was saying earlier, we all have a different view of the world.
Yep,
So Hitler's beliefs or views of the world was totally skewed.
yeah,
And it was his world though. He believed it,
that's
so it
right.
was true
Yeah,
to him.
yep,
To millions of other people, obviously to us, it is totally not true. It's not the way kind of life should be lived.
yeah,
So from his perspective, though, yeah, it was true.
yep.
Trump as well. A lot of people like
Well, a lot
Trump
of
as
people
well.
love him, absolutely. I mean,
A lot of people,
it
because it shakes up the political world. That's what Trump
yeah,
is doing. He's shaking because he's not a politician. He's a shit politician,
yeah, yeah.
but he's
And a
actually
terrible
he's shaking things
communicator,
up.
I mean,
He is, but he's
honestly.
shaking things up.
And this is the thing. I think that we live in a fairly highly judgmental world, and people tend to feel that their fears have them project their beliefs and their perspectives on other people, trying to make like attract like and things like that. So I think for me, the belief that I've found a really nice one to hold is everyone has a right to their own opinion,
Yeah,
and it doesn't mean I have to agree with them. There's this saying that a lot of people talk about, I don't care what other people think of me. And to me, I think that's a sign that maybe somewhere what someone thought of you hurt you, and deep down you care, so you're pretending that you don't care.
yeah,
Personally, I think it's wonderful to care what other people think, but just don't be consumed by it. Um,
yeah.
so, yeah, I think beliefs are such a lovely place to explore and play with. In fact, Betty Jo Smith is saying, I said that I am worthy and I did feel something. Never thought to say that to myself before. So, isn't that amazing, Stephen? Just from watching this now, thank you, Betty
Yeah.
Jo. She's felt something that she's never been felt before. That's the power of a belief.
It's when I've done this in seminars, Jodie, as well,
Yep,
but we do it for longer. We do it for about 15 minutes, and we kind of talk about it.
yep,
People actually start crying, and there's a lot of emotions come up, and I keep on asking the why is that? Obviously, it's something deep
yeah,
inside them from their past as well.
yep,
But it does bring up a lot of emotions. It's amazing.
yeah. So, what are some of the other best bits of your book that you'd be willing to talk us through? I'm guessing that one of the beliefs that we need to hold to transform our life is I am worthy. Would I be sort of on track there?
Yes,
One
that's
of the
that's one of the
seven?
major beliefs. So
Yeah.
if that's all you did, if you just read the book and you just worked on the belief that I am worthy,
Yeah.
it's worth. Oh, you wouldn't believe how much it's worth.
Yeah.
But it literally changes your whole life.
Yeah.
Just that one thing, and I don't mean kind of just plain lip service to it. I
Yeah.
mean truly
Own
believing
it.
you are
Yeah.
a worthy person.
Yeah.
And worthy people, they act differently. You've met kind of people that really deep down believe they're worthy.
Yeah.
They don't really care what other people think. They might take it on board what they think, what you were saying,
Yeah.
but it doesn't kind of direct their life at all.
That's right. It's not
So these
consuming.
people are supremely confident
Yeah.
because that one belief, and that is a core belief, but it grows branch beliefs, it grows a trunk belief from it as well, and it grows leaf beliefs from that.
Yeah.
So you're changing one belief or installing one belief, but you get confidence, self-esteem, everything changes because of that one belief. That's why we call it a core belief, and that's why it's one of the 7 kind of major beliefs we're looking at as well. So it does change everything if you worked in that one belief alone.
Yeah.
But the other one, I would say, is I am responsible for everything that happens in my life.
Okay.
And
Can you
I'm
tell us
not
a bit
talking
more
about
about
everything
that?
that happens out with your control.
Yep.
I'm talking about for everything that happens in your life. So you play a part, everything that's happened in your life to date, you played a part in.
Yep.
The quicker you realize that and understand that and believe that,
Yep.
then the quicker you take control and say, okay, I'm responsible
Yep.
for what happens. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do with my life. These are the goals I have, and I'm responsible for getting there.
Yep.
I've not got a silver spoon. I'm not going to feel entitled.
Yep.
I'm going to kick some arse and get the goals I want to have in my life.
Yep.
And when you get that belief and you really, truly get it,
Yeah.
again, it's a life changer.
It is the most empowering belief we can hold, I think. It's when we feel like we're not responsible or it's not our fault, we render
Yeah.
ourselves powerless. But the
Yeah.
moment you become the problem, you also become the solution. So I absolutely love that, Stephen. I really love that. Yeah. So we've got 5 more minutes to talk about, or maybe even 10, but we obviously can't dig into all 7 beliefs, and I really want people. I've already ordered mine. I'll post the link in the comments, but I've ordered my book. Tell us, when can we get our hands on it? And is there maybe 1 or 2 more things that you can talk us through from the book? So when is it available? When will I get to get the other beliefs?
It's available on pre-order just now.
Yeah.
So it's on pre-order. You can get it on Amazon just now. I'm just doing it exclusively on Amazon just now. I'm not going to put it in the bookshops. And it will be coming out on paperback, and it is on Kindle on the 29th. So it's 2 days on Wednesday.
Oh, wow. So very soon. So
yeah,
in a couple of days, people will be able to have the book in their Kindle reader, and they'll get all 7 of those life-changing or transformational beliefs.
Yeah.
Is there any other processes or key things in the book that you wanted to share with us?
Yeah, there's one that I think is extremely important. I've kind of touched upon it, and it's called your belief ceiling. So I remember when I first started business back in 2012, I thought, okay, what I need to do, I only need to earn $30,000 per year in order to give up my job. And I was focused on $30,000 a year. And the first year, I managed to get $30,000 in my first year of kind of doing business, and thought, brilliant, I can give up my job. Gave it up. I thought, that's excellent. I thought, oh shit, I've given up my job. I've not got that income. What do I need now? I thought, okay, I need to get $60,000 a year because I'm going to have to kind of hire people. And the second year, I got $60,000 for that year. And then I started thinking, I'm kind of putting a ceiling on what I believe I can achieve in my business. So I thought, okay, I'm going to double it. So I doubled it to 120,000, and I got 120,000. And I thought, almost to the dollar, because I deal in kind of American dollars, but almost, and I kind of stay in the UK and it's pounds, but almost to the dollar, got 120. I thought, okay, I'm going to double it again. So I got to $250,000 in the 4th year of kind of doing business in sales. I'm not talking about net profit, in sales. I thought, this is amazing. And I thought, okay, I'm going to double it to $500,000. I didn't get there in the 5th year. I got to $350,000 in net sales, and then it started kind of petering off. And my kind of interest in that kind of social media side of the business, I still love it and I do it for myself. But that kind of started waning. So every 4 years I kind of reinvent myself. But this being an author, this is it for the long term.
I love
so so your belief ceiling determines what you can achieve. So if you set yourself something, you'll find you hit that something, you go, oh, brilliant, that's fantastic. But then you can't get past that belief ceiling. So you have to change it again, just say, okay, I really do believe I can get to this level. What do I need to do? What do I need to believe to get there? And then you go up to it and you hit a ceiling again. So, but there is no ceiling.
It keeps
but
getting
you
more
can break
and
through
more.
each ceiling
Yeah.
and keep going. So the belief ceiling is really important, and we all have those belief ceilings in every area of our life.
And I can so relate to that, Stephen. You know, in our first year, when I quit my job and we started this business, my goal was to make 6 figures a year working part-time. And first year we got there. Goal was to double it the next year. And so we did it again. And it was like, it's only when you're in the game and you realize that this ceiling that you're aiming for, it's like, whoa, imagine if I could quit my job and make 6 figures a year, but doing it part-time. It was like the unfathomable possible thing. Make it happen. And then you actually start to go, oh, that's not as impossible as the world would have had me believe. Now I'm doing it bigger. And now we're getting to the point where we're, okay, what would it take to make 7 figures a year instead of 6? So the ceiling continues to go up and up and up. It's very exciting. Yeah.
Well, a good thing to do with that, Jodie, and everybody can do this as well, is what I've not mentioned this in the book, but I'll be kind of changing the book all the time and adding to it, is a moonshot belief. So if you're just starting business and you think, okay, what is a moonshot belief? It would be to earn $1 million. You go, that ain't going to happen. Okay. That's just not going to happen. And then you bring it down and say $500,000, probably not going to happen. Then you say, okay, $250,000. So it's more than it's possible, much more possible than $1 million. But you bring it down again, you go 125,000. You go, actually, that is. But at the very beginning, if you didn't do the moonshot belief and you said, okay, you could earn $50,000, that $50,000 would have been the moonshot belief, and you wouldn't have believed it possible. But because you've stretched your belief goals and you stretch your mind to $1 million, you bring it down, and you're now at 125,000 instead of 50,000. And we do that again in every area of our life. It's not just business, but every single area of our life as well.
What a great strategy. You just stretch it out to the impossible, and then the reality doesn't feel so big anymore. It's like, actually, if I was thinking about $1 million and now I go back to 100 grand, all of a sudden that seems very bite-sized. Now, Christy's asking, any chance your book will be on audio, Stephen?
I am recording the audio just now.
Okay,
so I didn't think I was going to be any good at the audio, but I've recorded the first 2 chapters because a lot of people have asked about the beta readers. Have said, okay, you're going to get this in audio, and I thought with my Scottish accent as well, I thought a lot of people won't understand me, so there's no point in doing an audio. But a lot of people have asked for it, and if they don't understand, I'll put it out there anyway.
Get some subtitles or something.
Exactly.
I love a good Scottish accent, actually. And I remember when I landed in Edinburgh for the first time in my life years ago. Wow. Yeah, it was beautiful, the most beautiful place. But I was looking lost, obviously looking at a map. This was before we had smartphones, and it was about 20 odd years ago. And this lovely Scottish Edinburgh local saw that I was lost and said, "Where are you going?" And he sort of guided me. But it was so interesting to me because I thought, we are both speaking English, but I do not know what he is saying.
I get that all the time. I was doing a YouTube, I was doing a live show, no, it was Facebook, I was doing a live show. And somebody said, have you got subtitles for what, because I can't understand what you're saying. And that person was actually English. They're English and they don't understand. I'm going, I said no.
And Sue's saying she absolutely loves your accent. I love a Scottish accent too. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
And Lindsay is saying, with 1 million hearts, me exaggerating again, 500 million hearts, would love the audio, Stephen, please. So that's a big yay for you bringing out the audio.
Excellent. I'll definitely keep on doing that then.
Yeah. Now, it's been absolutely fantastic to talk about the book. I know I don't want to keep you too long, but we've got a lot of business builders in our community, Stephen. And one of the things, the biggest belief that holds so many of my clients back is the fear of putting themselves out there on social media. What if no one will watch me? What if I'm not good enough? What if I stuff it up? So have you got any hot tips, because you've obviously built a huge following on social media, but could you talk us through some tips or some tactics around building an online presence and growing a business that way?
Yeah. Okay, so one of the big things we all know in social media, on all the social media platforms, is video.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be doing video.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think you look good for video, it doesn't matter. Even if you think you've got a face for radio, it doesn't matter at all. Just get out on video, because what you're going to do with video, you're going to attract you on a video.
Yeah.
You have an energy that comes across on video.
Yeah.
People actually feel that energy that they don't get in a voice, they don't get in a kind of podcast. Well, you do kind of to a degree in a podcast, but on video, your personality comes across. But if you say to yourself, okay, I'm not going to get any viewers if I do a live show on Facebook or whatever you do it on, I'm not going to get any viewers, but that's great because it's going to teach me what I need to do in order to get better. And it's only going to be in front of a couple of people. Yeah. Whereas when the audience does come, I'll be much better, I'll be much more confident. I won't need an auto cue, I won't need anything like that. I'll just be able to riff. Yeah. So if you use that as a training, almost like your training wheels, just when nobody's there watching you, that's a perfect time to do live video. Yep. You just go on live and just say, I'm just going on live. My name is such and such. This is what I love to teach. And that's it.
Yep.
Now, when you get confident in doing all that, video is still going to be your major thing. But you can repurpose one video and make it at least 50 pieces of content for Twitter, for Instagram, for Pinterest, for YouTube, for everything, for all the platforms that you're on. One video,
out there. Wow.
repurpose it, make it 50 pieces of content. Now, I'm trying to get away just now, because I'm working on that just now myself. So I'm working. So I start with a YouTube video, and then I make it an Instagram video for IGTV, and then I make it now Pinterest. Pinterest, I've got videos now. I don't know if you know. Put on Twitter. I put on it as a blog post. I'm going to share it as a podcast. So I take the video, MP3 it, and put in a new podcast.
Wow.
And that's 10 pieces of content. Once you share it, another 10 pieces of content. Then you kind of screenshot it, take quotes from it. You've got 50 pieces of content from that one video.
And it's just about systemizing it, isn't it? Go, right, get the video here, then I have my system to multi-purpose it. Brilliant.
Yeah, once you do that, people are going to say, my God, Sue, oh my God, Jodie, I see you all over the place. How you managing this? Have you got 10 people working for you? No, it's just having a system in place, and that's it. It's just one video and you've got 50 pieces of content. View it like that, and you won't feel overwhelmed about everything you've got to do.
I absolutely love that. And so for those of you that are in the Business Builder program, which I know a lot of them are, Steve, they're all here to learn from you. Let's get you all up on those videos. And I love the belief that Stephen's shared with us. If no one's watching, isn't that great? Because I can just do it without fear of everybody laughing at me, and see it as your training wheels. So big tip there. We've all got to get on video. And I agree with you, Stephen. I think that, even for me, before I interviewed you, because I looked at your bio and the writing, and I was like, oh my God, he's got 5 million followers and all of this. And I was a little bit nervous, to be honest. It was like, oh, this is a big guy I'm interviewing, He's one of the big guns. And then I saw you on your YouTube and I watched a lot of your videos and I was like, oh, he's lovely. And I'm really excited to meet you and have this chat. So thank you.
I think it's brilliant, Jodie, because nobody's big. It's only egos that are big. Yeah. But because I've got 5 million, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm going to sell a load of books because I've got 5 million, because I won't, because you don't reach that many people. Yeah. It's only a number. Yeah. So don't kind of put other people down that are kind of lower than you, or put other people on a pedestal that are higher than you, because we're all the same. We all started at the same place as well. Yeah. And I genuinely believe that, and I genuinely mean that as well.
Yeah. And you know what? I love that you said that, Stephen, because I've met some amazingly successful coaches, particularly in the last 12 months as I've grown my business and I've had more courage to reach out to people and interview them and connect with them and even engage them. And behind every incredible success story is a normal human who's just really passionate about doing what they do. And I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's just absolutely amazing. And how cool you're in. So what part of the UK are you in right now?
I'm from Scotland, so we're in Glasgow, the other side of Edinburgh. You were talking about Edinburgh, so we're in Glasgow.
I didn't get to Glasgow.
And that was one of the other beliefs we had.
Yep.
We've moved to kind of the West End of Glasgow.
Yep.
And 20 years ago, when I first moved to Glasgow, I came to the West End. I looked to the property, the old tenements that I love. I thought I could never afford this. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to change that belief. 20 years later, last year we moved to the West End. We got a lovely property in the West End.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with beliefs as well.
I love it. Absolutely. And that was the question I was going to leave with, Stephen. In your history of working with your own beliefs, what is the biggest belief that you've changed and how has it impacted your life?
Oh, right. There's a big story there. I tell this story in the book very briefly, but basically when I was younger, 6 years old, 6 years old, I had a hearing problem, but I didn't know I had a hearing problem. And I thought I was thick. I know it's not very PC, but that was the word I used when I was younger. Yeah. So I didn't believe I was intelligent at all. And then they discovered I had something called glue ear, and the doctors fixed it. I had an operation and I could hear again. But in the classroom, I couldn't hear the teachers, so they thought I had kind of learning disabilities. So once I got the glue ear operation done, everything was normal after that. It was okay, and I started learning and everything was good. But I still had the belief that I was thick, that I wasn't intelligent at all. And that stayed with me until I was 16 years old and I was walking home from school and I just passed a history exam. I thought, I'm actually not thick. I'm quite intelligent. I've just got an A in my history exam. And then I started looking for other reasons to believe that I was intelligent.
Yep.
And I loved writing. Even at that age, I loved writing. I loved reading. I loved kind of going out and looking at intellectual kind of things and kind of asking the deep questions at that age, writing poetry and stuff like that. And it kind of proved to me, there was evidence to prove that I was intelligent. And I changed that belief that was thick to being intelligent, and it changed more because it affects your social life, it affects your confidence, it affects your self-esteem, it affects everything in your life.
Absolutely.
Changing that one belief is because changing that one belief is why I'm here today talking to you. That one belief.
That's amazing. And how beautiful that a 16-year-old young man could do the work on himself to work that out and get that job done, because that's really, that was a pivotal time in your life, and you managed to do that without the book. But obviously the book is something that's a piece of lifelong work for you, it sounds to me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And we've got one more comment here from Leanne. She says, I love your quote, Stephen. Those who really know and care about you can hear you even when you haven't spoken a word. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's can I just say one more thing about social media as well?
Yeah.
If you start writing your own quotes, if you've written a book, you've got a ton of quotes there already.
Yeah.
Start writing your own quotes every morning. Write 5 of your own quotes, even if you don't think you're good, you'll get better at it.
Yep.
And kind of put them out on your social media. Yep. And you've got another. I've written 500 quotes, and those 500 quotes have done my social media, Instagram, kind of Facebook, and everything for the last 6 years.
Yeah, that just could
500
go around.
quotes. You're just rotating, changing the images, and doing that. That's it. And you've got hundreds and thousands of pieces of content.
Yep.
So if you're an author, if you're a writer, if you're a trainer, a coach, get those quotes in every single morning.
Yeah, I love that. 5 quotes every morning. And guess what, Stephen? There's a book in that. You could literally have a book of Stephen.
Well, I kind of spoke about that kind of last month to a client I've got as well. And I spoke about that. So that might be coming out as well.
Yeah, I love it. Look, you have been an absolute joy to connect with. I know this book is needed. I want everyone in the Business Builder program to make sure they grab themselves a copy of it. For those of you that are watching live, I will post the link in the comments below for Stephen's book. It's available now on Kindle, and it's just a couple of days until it arrives. So we've talked about 2 of the 7 beliefs that we need to all hold if we want to transform our lives. And I can't wait to get stuck into the book and get the other 5 beliefs. Thank you, Stephen, for being here.
Jodie, thank you very much for having me on. Really, really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. And together we are worthy. Thank you.
Yes, we are.
We are worthy. Thank you very much, everyone. You are all so worthy. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you all again soon. We'll wrap it up now. Thanks, folks. See you.
Thank you.